Hello, my name is Andrew Poore. I'm an assistant coach for track and field and a former student athlete here. Today, we're going to take a tour of the academic section of campus. So if you look at campus, it's clustered into a couple different areas. North of 17th Street, you have the athletic part of campus where the track is, the indoor track, the football stadium, the basketball stadium, and the majority of our facilities. Between 10th Street and 17th Street, you have all the residential buildings. So you'll have Briscoe, McNutt, Foster, where most of the students will stay. But then starting on 10th Street to 3rd Street, you have the academic section. And during the day, especially during a school day, you can't drive through that part of campus. So we're going to go walk through and see all the cool spaces that you wouldn't be able to see just by driving around. And we'll hopefully get a chance to see some parts that really show off why this is one of the prettiest campuses in the country. You know, if we were typically doing this right on cue, you got the student building with the clock tower. This is one of the historical buildings in Indiana. If you're going to take a picture or come into Bloomington, you're going to get your picture taken in front of this building right here. There's not too many classes that you would necessarily take in this building. There's a club on campus that will keep track of all the squirrels. That guy probably has a name. I don't know what his name is, but the squirrel enthusiasts will know exactly who he is. He's way too comfortable with us. People clearly feed him, he's very fat. So this is going to be what they call the Old Crescent part of campus. So you've got Maxwell over here, and you can tell the really old buildings when you look at it. It's got like the rougher face to it. Whereas you look at some of the newer buildings that we'll see throughout campus, it's a smooth face. But this building was built in the 1800s, and then you've got the only two brick buildings on campus. Everything else is going to be Bloomington limestone or Bedford limestone. We were shopping local before shopping local was cool. And then you've got the Dunn Meadow over here. So this is a giant forest area that connects the southwest part of campus with Bloomington, and so there's a bunch of little paths that we'll walk through. IU's campus is very wooded. For every tree they cut down, they plant two. This is Herman Wells. Herman Wells was one of the is the most notable president in Indiana University's history. He's the one that really expanded campus and designed it. So you're supposed to come up and shake hands with Herman. I'm not going to do that. His hand is completely discolored. I've seen people sit on his lap. I wouldn't recommend that either. Kind of weird. But yeah, that's the tradition. You come up, you shake his hand. I think it's for good luck for incoming freshmen. I don't know, but that's what you're supposed to do, and you can tell by the color of his hand that enough people have done it to permanently damage the statue. As you look through campus, you'll notice that there's these green light towers everywhere. So Herman Wells, he would walk through campus at night with a book, and if he couldn't read the page in the book, he would mark it on the map, and then they would install a light post there. So if you were to walk through campus during the night, campus is very well lit, it's very safe. So we're going to walk towards Swain, which is the most southwestern part of the undergraduate part of campus. So Swain is going to be more of your math classes, but pretty much every building on campus, even though it might be designated math or biology or chemistry, you could take any class in any building. But fortunately, you can get from this corner of campus to the northeast corner of campus in 15 minutes. Typically, that's going to be the shortest amount of time you're going to have in between your classes. And then you can see 3rd Street with one of our beautiful red clock towers. They play wonderful Christmas songs in the winter, and then they kind of mix it up. You might hear a Bells version of a pop song. I don't know, it's pretty cool. But 3rd Street will be the southernmost portion. You have all the science buildings. You have the chemistry building just through the trees. You'll have Myers Hall. On the other side, you're going to have Jordan Hall. So if you're a biology major, most of your classes are going to be housed in these buildings. In Lindley, you'll have also the Kinsey Institute down here on the south side of campus. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to go into detail on camera what the Kinsey Institute does. However, I would encourage you to look it up because it's one of IU's most renowned research facilities on campus. This is Jordan Hall. Jordan Hall is the biology building. On the south side of Jordan is the Jordan Hall, or it's the Jordan Greenhouse. It's a beautiful greenhouse. They've got all these different rooms with different climates. It's free to the public if you just walk through, if you check the hours on the website. So if you're visiting campus, you should definitely take a chance to look through and experience what they have to offer. So then in front of us, you have Ballantyne. Ballantyne's the tallest building in Bloomington. It's more of a general education building. You're not going to have any specific classes in it. You could have Spanish, you could have criminal justice, you could have a course on the Beatles, which I took, which is awesome. It's a massive building, but you will inevitably have a class in Ballantyne almost every single semester because there are so many classroom spaces, but this is right in the middle of campus. Here we are in the middle of the Jordan River. You can see that it's flowing quite a bit here. This is one of the prettier sections of campus. This is going to lead us all the way to Jordan Avenue, which is the east side of this academic side of campus. Typically, you'll come out here during a normal school day, you'll see people out here painting or drawing or sleeping on a hammock. It's a very relaxing green space on campus. If you can take the bus straight from Jordan Avenue right into the middle of campus and walk this path every single day if you want, and I would highly recommend it. We're standing in front of Woodburn Hall. Woodburn has the largest classroom on campus. It's 400, I think it has capacity for 420 students, which makes it the smallest, largest lecture hall in the Big Ten. Now, I think only 7% of IU's classes are over 100 students. The student to faculty ratio is 16:1, and the average class size is around 30 or 33 students. So you'll have some big classes, but especially as you get into the higher level courses of your major, it'll get smaller and smaller as you go along. We're standing at the Showalter Fountain. As you can see, water's flowing. The tradition is that when you graduate, you jump in the fountain, but it's a nice hot day here in the southernmost campus in the Big Ten, so it makes sense to want to put your feet in the fountain on a day like today. So then you've got the auditorium. They'll have some of the biggest Broadway productions come through campus. You've got the Lilly Library, which has an original Gutenberg Bible inside. You've got the Fine Arts Building. Then you look over there to the right, you have the Art Museum. The Art Museum has no right angles in the entire building, with the exception of floor to ceiling. So for structural purposes they do, but even the stairs are crooked. And the cafe is called Angles, so they're very thematic. We're in front of the Eskenazi, I think that's how you say it, Eskenazi Museum of Art, where we have a light tower, and if you don't take a picture with your back on the ground and your feet up against the wall in the night when the lights are on, then you didn't really go to school here. So that's what everybody has to. You have to take a picture, you have to post it on Instagram, and fun fact, Bloomington itself is the most Instagram place in all of Indiana. We're standing in front of the Kelley School of Business. It will be ranked anywhere between #1 and #10 in the country every single year. This is one of our most popular undergraduate degree programs, arguably our best undergraduate degree program. So you've got the undergraduate side over here, the graduate side over here, and then 10th Street marks the northernmost part of the academic side of campus. So you've got the psychology building, geology, and then the Luddy School of Engineering on the other side, and then everything else is going to be south towards 3rd Street. You've got the Wells Library in the back. The Wells Library, when it was built by the Purdue engineers, they forgot to account for the weight of the book, so it sinks 1/4 of an inch every single year. You have the bicentennial Carillon, which was it's a giant bell tower in the middle of campus. And then you've got the International Studies building in the back left, center left. This is the Arboretum. So the Arboretum will connect you from 10th Street to the Art Museum and the Showalter Fountain. We're at the Indiana University Memorial Union, and it's a combination of hotel, common areas, restaurants, coffee shops, bowling alley, billiards rooms. It's got a combination of everything. There's computer labs. This is where you get your student ID when you lose it, because everybody eventually loses it. I think you get one free one if you lose it, but then after that you have to pay for it. So it's a huge space, one of the biggest student unions in the country. If you walk in here at any point in the day, you'll see, especially on a school day, you'll see 30, 40 kids taking naps on chairs and couches, because it's just a comfortable place to lay out and hang out. If you're really lucky, you'll get one of the couches next to the fireplace in the fireplace room. From the sample gates, you can walk 6 blocks and you can be right on the downtown square where all the restaurants and bars are. Bloomington is the #2 college town in America, according to US News. #1 is Ames, Iowa. I've been to Ames. I'm not sure that's necessarily fair or accurate, but Bloomington's a pretty awesome place. And it's always going to be there any given year, somewhere in the top 5 or 6 places in the country for a college town. Thank you for coming with us on this tour. Hopefully you got to see some things that you hadn't seen before, but more importantly, we hope that you'll come back and see it for yourself. Everything in Bloomington revolves around Indiana University, the campus, and it sets up better than anywhere else in the country. It's an awesome place to live, it's an awesome place to go to school, and I know that once you come here and see it for yourself, you're going to feel right at home.